wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club, and we have some special guests joining us this morning.
That's an understatement.
My goodness, when they talk about black don't crack and how beautiful black is, we have Mother Viola Fletcher and Uncle Red is what his name. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you guys feeling? You just celebrated a birthday,
great.
109 years old?
Woo-hoo.
Wow,
Yes.
my Jesus.
Finger waves still look amazing.
Still look great.
That's right. Mother Viola Fletcher has a book out called Don't Let Them Bury My Story. Don't Let Them Bury My Story, the oldest living survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre in her own words. What does that title mean?
What does the title mean, Don't Let Them Bury My Story, Mother Fletcher?
Don't let them bury my story.
Basically, there are a lot of voices
To the mic.
that are
To the mic.
basically there's a lot of voices that are unheard throughout the country. The Tulsa Race Massacre was the largest race massacre in U.S. history, but there are similar stories throughout the nation. In fact, there's one here in New York, the draft riots, I do believe. It was significant that we came to New York first because of the correlation between Black Wall Street and the Wall Street that you have here. We're finding mass burials as we speak. We found in mass graves in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we understand you found one as well in the building of your Wall Street. And the fact that the first commodity on the exchange was black people themselves, slaves. So it was a lot of significance in coming to New York and coming to this show. We listened to the show, big fans of the show.
Thank you, brother.
Very happy to have us here. Thank you so much.
So what made you guys decide to write this book?
My grandmother, when the massacre happened, a lot of people were killed, and to sweep the story underneath the carpet, they told people, "Do not talk about this. If so, we're going to kill your entire family." And the word spread throughout the community and abroad. So it took a lot for me to get my grandmother to even talk about the story because she thought she was protecting her children and her grandchildren. And I'm ex-military, and I convinced her that, I got you. We got you. I got you. I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
You can understand the trauma, though.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can
Absolutely.
understand.
And so she said, okay, go tell my story. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, she said, go tell my damn story. And then we changed the title to Don't Let Them Bury My Story. Don't Let Them Bury My Story, because you're never too old to tell your story. There's a lot of life lessons in the book itself, a lot of correlations to the perseverance of our black people. And it's a story that needs to be told. She is the oldest author in the world. So this is a collector's item, the oldest author in the world.
Wow.
When you have conversations with your grandma, just even before now, did you ever stop and just ask her why does she think God has kept him here so long? Because you always say God keeps you here till the job is done. Like
Right.
do they still feel like it's work to be done?
Absolutely. We believe that God. I don't know too many people that's Uncle Red's age at 102.
Right.
I don't know too many people that live to be 90. And when they are, they have dementia. They don't have their thoughts in their heads. When my grandmother turned 101, I called the whole family. I said, okay, get ready. When she turned 103, I said, okay, get ready. She turned 104. I said, you know what? Get ready. And she turned 105. I said, you know what? Disregard everything I said before. God has her here for a reason, for a purpose, and we believe it's to seek justice. We believe it's to tell your story. Is that what you want to do, Granny? You seeking justice? Mother Fletcher?
Boy, if you don't stop yelling in my ear.
What was the question?
Ask her a question.
Do you feel like you're still here for to seek justice?
I didn't quite hear that, no.
He said, why do you think God allowed you to live this long?
Well, it's just a blessing, I think. It's why I've appreciated being one anyway.
Uncle Red,
Yeah.
why do you think God allowed you to live this long?
He wanted me to live long enough to get the thing done about this Black Wall Street. That's the reason I'm here. I got 28 more years to go.
I love that.
Damn! Wow!
I love that. I was going to ask, with some of the stuff that they fought for, him being a vet and everything that they fought for, is it strange to see the world almost like recirculating again, like the things that they fought for, people are fighting for now.
Right.
How do they
Right.
feel about that?
Right.
I feel good about that. It's coming. It's going to come to a head. It's going to be a change, and it's coming. So I'm here for that change. But we black people, we are one. Don't forget that. Any more questions?
Yes, sir. We have some more. Uncle Red, do you have real hope and faith that the U.S. government will ever compensate you for what happened with
Yes,
Black Wall
I
Street?
believe so.
Really?
Yeah, I believe it's going to happen. Yes.
You've been alive way longer than me. So why do you believe in the white man, but I don't?
I believe it's some good people and bad people.
Mm-hmm.
I hang on the good side.
Okay.
Yes. People are not bad. It's good people and bad people.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with some people right now. It's pretty bad people. See, I met Joe Biden. I met Vice President Harris. Back to mine, I was in her country, in India. I've served in India. And that's where her family's from. So, yes. So,
In
I
World
believe
War II, he was in Burma.
Burma, also in Burma.
All black battalion.
All
he
black.
shot down enemy aircraft. They were thought to be all killed, but most of his troops survived because they was fighting for their life. How many times were you bombed, Uncle Red?
Huh?
How many times were you bombed?
I bombed twice. Bombed when I was 4 or 5 months old. Bombed when I was 20-something years old.
Wow.
I didn't think it ever happened in my life, but it did.
Uncle Red was a baby.
I'm glad I survived all of that. I'm a survivor.
He was a baby during the Tulsa Race Massacre. Mother Fletcher was 7 years old, so that's why he said he was bombed as a child, as a baby.
yeah.
Right.
I was
And,
gonna
and
ask,
how many presidents have you met, Uncle Red?
I met most all of them. I didn't get a chance to meet Obama.
really?
I went to a we call in Colorado we call a honor flight. They fly all the veterans from Washington D.C. for 3 or 4 days. And the group I was with, I didn't get a chance to meet Obama.
Really?
Hopefully
The one
he
and only
sees
black
this.
president?
Yeah, no, hopefully he
I
sees
didn't
this and get a
get a
chance to meet him.
But why haven't any of those presidents helped, move on
They
getting
took us
compensation?
all around to all the what servicemen did, what country we was in, and took us around to the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, all bases. And the main trip was to go see the changing of guard at the cemetery. That was the main issue when they took us up there. So they pull a veteran out and let him come pin the thing on the unknown shoulder, the wreath. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Red, do you feel that the country takes care of their veterans?
Not quite. They need to do more.
As much as you fight for our country and put your life on the line, and it's heartbreaking sometimes to see vets on the side of the road and they don't have health care, they don't have a place to live. And what would you say to somebody out there in the government that could possibly, hopefully, get them to do more?
Well, they got a new secretary of the Army, a female woman. She's supposed to get all this did. She's gonna take care of all of that. She was on television here last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time they had a woman for secretary. We don't give our women enough credit, and we are leaders, and that's what we need, the female to help us get through this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Us men don't step up like they should. And I'll tell you the reason why I think. Because back in the slavery, back in the after the bombing of Tulsa, and black people, men, didn't have no job for a young man. I used to have to clean and wash dishes to make a living, and shine shoes. If a black man had a chance to go to school, that was good. But I didn't have a chance to go to school. I didn't have a chance to go to college. They took all my life away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could have been a president like President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But the black man wasn't treated right. So I hope it's be better for the black man. A 23-year-old person, he get a job, making good money, a 23-year-old black man, they won't give him a chance.
Absolutely.
With everything y'all have seen and lived through, what does the world look like today? Like how different does the world look like now as opposed to when y'all were younger?
Oh, well, that's a whole big difference. It's a whole big difference. It looks promising.
Really?
I think it's going to be better.
Mm.
Because we have to keep fighting, though.
It looks promising. However, with the attacks on the Capitol, they had a lot of issues. Mother Fletcher had a lot of issues when she saw the attack on the Capitol. It brought back so many memories. Right now, she doesn't sleep at night. She sleeps with the light on. She's already in go mode. She won't sleep in the bed. She will not sleep in the bed. Uncle Red sleeps with his lights on. They're always afraid that something else is going to happen. It's not good.
So you never healed from the PTSD of the bombing?
She doesn't lie down. She sleeps sitting up.
Really?
Since 7 years old?
I'm 7 years old.
Jesus Christ.
How do you sleep, Mother Fletcher? How do you sleep?
Don't sleep after dark. Most of the day, we just kind of nod and make it through because it's light. I don't like the darkness.
Does Mother Fletcher have faith that the U.S. government will ever compensate them for what they went through?
She has hope, but I don't know about faith.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? She doesn't. She has fear that she won't discuss, but she just really doesn't trust. A lot of white people.
I don't blame her.
So she has encountered good and bad. She knows there's good and bad. Therefore, she has hope. You know what I'm saying? And that's why she wants people to read the book. There are a lot of life lessons. She encountered a lot of bad white people and good white people in the book. And she told me it's not the color of your skin that matters. It's the content of your character that matters.
I was going to ask, with the talk of reparations, what do they feel is owed and deserved?
The pending litigation is about a public nuisance. They've been blighted, and they feel that they need to be made whole. And they're not quite sure what that looks like, but they lost a home. They lost everything that they had. Generational trauma was passed on, and generational wealth was lost. So I don't know how you put a number on that, but we're not difficult people. We established the Viola Ford Fletcher Foundation. We're very active in Africa, giving back to underserved children. We're active in the United States to give back. So we're not greedy at all. You know what I'm saying? But on the same token, we're not foolish either. We need to be made whole. Need to be made whole. And like I said, she often talk about we lost everything we had and we became sharecroppers. We moved around like gypsies from farm to farm, working for the white man. Picking. What did y'all pick on the farms?
Cotton, corn, hay, did that on the farm. All of that.
How this is a question for everybody, but how did the bombing set back Black America? Like, we know what it did to Tulsa, but how did it set back Black America as a whole?
Like what I'm saying, I was 3 or 4, 5 months old. See, if it wouldn't have happened, I would have had a chance to maybe go there. My father-in-law, Tom Withers, he managed to get his son in school. Tom Jr. was working, washing dishes at a white cafeteria. Like I said, then, like 18, 23, 3 years old, you get a job washing dishes, cleaning. You was a bellhop at a thing. They didn't give no black man nothing. At least no live on.
When we have a family
Tom
discussion,
Withers got his son in college. I didn't have no dad to get me nowhere. So I had to continue. I took Tom's job. I went washing dishes like you did. And you wash dishes. You shine shoes. It was not nothing for no young black man back then.
But if you still had Black Wall Street, there would have been. There'd have been
An
an
opportunity to do
Wall
all those
Street,
things.
Black
yeah.
Wall Street would have given me a chance
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to get an education.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that. I didn't get a high school diploma until I come out the service.
Mm.
I managed to get a high school diploma.
Mother Fletcher, did you get a chance to get an education?
No,
If you had an education, what would you want to be?
a nurse.
Mm.
Yes, I work with children and senior citizens, adults, like people are treating me now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we come
Yep.
from a family of midwives. Her grandmother was a midwife to help deliver babies, so naturally she would see that and want to become a nurse. When she gave birth to her children, it was in the basement of the hospital. They didn't let black women share the same floor with white women. She had my father in the basement of the hospital near steam pipes.
I was going to ask, how many generations enjoy grandma? You know, is it great? Is it great? Is it great? How many get to enjoy grandma?
I'm the grandson, got grandkids. I think it's 7 grandkids, and it's a plethora of great grandkids. And we have parties at the house. They come, and everybody just it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm trying to not get too emotional about it, thinking about it, because everybody's kind of like in awe.
Are they getting to talk to great granny about everything that's going on? Because sometimes those kids need those stories so they can continue on
Right.
telling
Yeah,
their
continue the
kids
mission.
and telling
Yeah.
their
Right.
friends, and
Right.
those are the stories that we don't hear enough.
Right. The kids are
A
doing
lot of times, because like you said, a lot of times parents and grandparents don't like to tell those stories because they're still a little scared.
Yeah.
But those are the stories we need out there.
what I see in our children, because of the history, you know, they realize they come from her bloodline, and she persevered. So we just had one of the grandkids graduate from Howard University. She's a doctor,
Wow.
and she's the first one to break the curse. She's the first one to break the curse. So
Yeah.
she's a doctor. My daughter's in college, Texas State, for pediatric nursing. I was in the military. My father's in the military. We had to join the military like Uncle Red did to, get out of that generational poverty. Now I'm able to assist my daughter in going to college. But, if Black Wall Street had not happened, it would have served as a prime example for other black cities to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
And black people in general will be on a level playing field with the rest of the world. Systemic racism does exist. If you know right, do right. We come from a common sense family. Give us the same chance as anybody else.
Absolutely.
Now, we've proven that in athletics. You know what I'm saying? We even can prove it in academics. But we always have to jump hurdles and kick down doors and break glass ceilings that should not exist. Everybody should start out on the same playing field. Then you lift yourself up by your own bootstraps. We have a motto, that health is wealth. Get busy living and get busy dying. And we not no lazy people.
Well, it's hard to lift yourself up by the bootstraps when you ain't got no boots.
Right, exactly.
And that's what they did when they do things like, bomb
Right,
Tulsa.
exactly.
They making sure we ain't got no boots.
Exactly. They want you to start out, that's race. But I'm going to have a 50-yard head start.
Right.
That's not right.
What made you and Uncle Red join the military knowing that we live under such a wicked regime? Like, what made y'all want to go fight for the country that's been oppressing us as people?
My father was in the military. The military opened up doors for our people that otherwise would not have been open. So I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the projects, and I grew up with my grandmother. She'd come get me every weekend, so I wouldn't have to necessarily be in the projects. Every summer I would stay with my grandmother. My junior and senior year, I graduated from my grandmother's house. So joining the military, gave me some benefits I knew I would need, medical, dental, stuff that person in the projects didn't necessarily have. When my teeth was bad, I'd pull it out my damn self, or she'd pull it out, you know what I mean? So the things that everybody should have, you don't have unless you do something different. You know what I'm saying? You have to sometimes change your environments, as you guys know. very successful. Change your environment. Sometimes you have to change your friends. And joining the military, I found out later in life that I influenced some of my childhood friends to join the military, and they changed their lives because they saw me do it. So if Black Wall Street was there, people would emulate that, and they would have something to measure up to. Say, hey, you know what? They're doing this. Each one teach one. Everybody's helping everybody. Everybody's supporting everybody. You know, we got away from that. They destroyed that, and the rest of the world didn't have anything to reflect on, and we got away from that.
I gotta ask, at age 109 and 102, what is the diet plan? What how what, Uncle Red, what are you eating, man? Because you look amazing.
What?
I said, what are you eating, Uncle Red?
I'm blessed.
Okay, all right.
That's all I can tell you. I love people. I don't hate nobody. Now, talking about military, they had a sort of school when I was a teenager. It's similar to the military. I tried to get in that. They wouldn't let me get in that. So I was drafted after my son was born. Drafted in the military. But I wanted to do something different. Didn't know nothing but sharecropping. I wanted to do something, try to make a living. So I tried to get in the military. They had programs similar to the military. So I sung around a black quartet, a gospel quartet for years. And I was living in this town, and I tried to get in the military. It wouldn't let me get in there. So finally later on, after I married and had my first son, I was drafted in the military.
Oh, so would you have joined if you wasn't drafted, you think?
I tried to join a military program before then, when I was a teenager. But after I got that married and got a family, they drafted me in the military. I was drafted.
I think what he's trying to say, when he chose as a free spirit, as a human being, he chose to go into the military.
Yeah,
and they didn't want it. But when the war broke out,
they made him go.
You know what I'm saying? They drafted him. They made him go.
Yeah.
They made
You know
me
what I'm
go.
saying? His baby was 3 months old.
Yeah.
So who wants to leave a newborn, you know what I'm saying, and go to war when they dropping bombs, and then you send him to the Burma where everybody's getting killed in an all-black battalion thinking they not coming back. All-black battalion. All-black battalion. So
Wow.
They say it's lonely when you you've lived very long and you start like watching all your peers go away, and you sometimes you outlive your children. Is it? Do you ever feel lonely? Do you feel that way?
I never feel lonely. Only time I feel lonely when I don't have nobody around me. See, I'm close to my family. My daughter Malie and Mira, they were my first two females, and they're 11 months apart. But when they don't come around, I get lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But they ask me stupid questions that medical people do. Don't ask me no stupid questions. I know I'm going to die, so don't ask me that. But I get real lonely when I don't have nobody around me. I just get lonely.
What about you, Mother Fletcher?
I don't have that crazy, I don't have the thing like other people do.
Mother Fletcher, do you get lonely? Do you get lonely?
Yes.
I try to keep the schedule full. If you're out there and you're dealing with senior citizens, I know this is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Number one, we should never disrespect the people who laid the groundwork for us.
Hell,
of course.
There's a special place in hell for people like that.
Right. But number two, if you want to live a long and fruitful life, you have to change your diet, for one. But if you make it to 100 by the blessings of God, let them eat whatever the hell they want to eat. Because you're not going to win.
Nope.
But you have to keep something on their schedule. If you did, when I was in the war, I would call my grandmother twice a day, every day, no matter where I was at in the world.
Yeah.
So she would not be lonely. Our seniors need people to communicate with them. They can speak for themselves. When I was writing a book, we talked about a whole lot of stuff that happened, right? And sometimes she would just arbitrarily say something. And I said, Granny, you never told me that. She said, you didn't ask. You know what I'm saying? And that was an important point. You know what I'm saying? If you don't ask, how are you going to know? You have to interact with your senior citizens. They're not dead. That's a whole man and a whole woman in that body. Their bodies change, but their mind can remain sharp if you interact with them. We would keep something on the schedule. Granny, we're going to the Bowley Rodeo, the Old Muggy Rodeo. We grew up going to black rodeos. They're like little family reunions where everybody get together to have car shows. I know you have a car show, DJ Envy. Horses, and everybody just kind of do their thing. And it's like a vision of a satellite Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? With cowboys, black cowboys. And people, just having a great time. Food and culture coming together. Food and culture and music. Lots of music. That breaks down barriers.
That's the reason why I did it, because I don't feel like we have events like that anymore. That's the perfect reason why I did the car show. My dad goes, he's 82 years old. My baby goes, who's 18 months old. But I feel like as a community, we need more events like that brings
Absolutely.
community together. It doesn't just have to be, this is just for the young people or this is just for the old people. There's something for everybody, and it's a big family reunion. So every year, you come and you see Mother Viola Fletcher. Every year you come and you see Uncle Red, and you get those stories and you get those conversations.
The next car show you have, you invite us, we there.
They don't want to be around all that noise.
Ain't that much noise.
They
It's
love
families.
it. They love it. They don't. That's what I'm saying. You assuming that they dead. They not dead. We got Get Busy Living. I Get Busy. At 107 years old, we went to Ghana. We was hosted in Ghana. At
Love
107 years old,
Wow.
in the middle of a pandemic, Uncle Red, Mother Fletcher went to Ghana with half our entire family in the middle of a pandemic to show the world that you can't hide from the pandemic. You can't stop living. Get busy living or get busy dying. The Ghanaian government just made them Ghanaian citizens not too long ago.
Wow.
In America. We didn't go to Ghana to do it. They came here to the embassy to make them Ghanaian citizens. So we have the nonprofit organization, the Viola Ford Fletcher Foundation, is in Ghana, and we just got through building some bathrooms over there. We got a project called the PADME Project. It's based on population health, but we try to cover the entire body. Mental health, menstrual hygiene for young women. So we like to use the platform to really implement change.
You said something that's important too. Asking questions, right? Because I think a lot of times you're like, how can I relate to them? You can't. They're over 100 years old. So you should be asking more questions as opposed to just talking.
Right.
I was going to ask too, have y'all had any health issues? Like, what have been the health issues that y'all have had?
One time, Mother Fletcher was in the hospital for the first time right before we was going to Ghana. And it was different. It was the first time she'd been in the hospital since she was in the basement of the hospital.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So she was like, what is this machine? Why are they hooking me up to this? Why are they doing that? And I had to explain to her what each piece of equipment was. The nurses were top tier. This happened in Tulsa. The nurses was top tier, and they were very good at explaining to her why I'm doing what I'm doing, what this is for, because all this was new to her. Last time she was in the basement of the hospital, they didn't even want her in the building. Not to mention, now she's in the top floor with everybody else in the hospital experiencing this for the first time. But other than that, she had never really been sick. She don't get sick. Later in his years, Uncle Red had some minor complications, but for the most part, he was the same way.
Wow.
No high cholesterol, high blood pressure, nothing?
He has some
High blood pressure.
Yeah.
No cholesterol.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm on cholesterol medication right now, and I'm 44 years old.
No cholesterol. High blood pressure.
That's it.
And prostate. That's it.
Damn.
That's it.
No heart issues, no nothing?
Yeah. Heart doesn't bad, but it's okay.
It's still working.
Yeah.
At that age, at 100 years, your heart slows down.
Mm-hmm.
Your kidneys start to deteriorate. And you'll look at that list the doctor gives you and say, your kidneys are starting to break down.
It takes
You don't
75,
panic.
80%.
Don't panic.
It what, 80%, Uncle Ray?
Yeah, 75%. It don't do 100, but it keeps you alive.
I love it. Well, we appreciate y'all for joining us this morning.
Yeah,
We're
I don't
so
want to
grateful
keep too
and
much of
thankful.
your time. I just, it's just a pleasure to have y'all here.
Absolutely.
It's an honor. We had these conversations about Black history all the time, but Black history really still exists right now.
Correct.
And like you said, we need to be having more conversations and asking them more questions while we still got them.
That's right.
Please support the foundation, support the case. The case is in the balance right now.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Carolyn Wald is trying to make a decision whether or not the case should move forward. She already said one time it should move forward, and they brought back more reasons why it shouldn't. And matter of fact, on her 109th birthday, we was in court in Tulsa, Oklahoma on her 109th birthday.
Wow.
Damn.
You don't think we would take that personal?
I think I hope it happens, but I can see them not doing it because they don't want to set that precedent. Because then they do that, then they got to take care of Philly for
In
the move
order for
bombing.
the
But they
entire
should.
country to move forward,
That's right.
we need to make this happen.
I
This
agree.
is a
They should.
public nuisance. If legally you have a situation, they've been blighted, they need to be made whole. There's 3
I agree.
living survivors. Hughes Van Ellis, Viola Ford Fletcher, and Leslie Benefield Randall. They are here. Now tell them to their face that they don't deserve to be made whole.
Oof.
And watch what happens.
And that's the reason for the book. Don't let them bury my story.
Don't let them bury
because
my
they
story.
really feel like they're being weighted
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So it's her desire to have, I mean, we even had to stop presses on that because she wanted to give her thoughts of how it felt to be in court on her 109th birthday.
Wow.
She didn't want it left up to how she must have felt, scholarly interpretation. This is how I felt, epilogue, at 109, spending my birthday reliving trauma.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I'm not saying anyone did on purpose, but I feel
They're trying to wait him
I'm
out.
here
Yeah.
at 109. So it's all in honor. The book is all in honor of everything they've been through, even coming to New York, honoring these bodies, these stories that we don't know. Our stories, as you know, you're a publisher. You know how hard it is to do what we do.
Absolutely.
But we all come together, make sure that our stories are told. At least our young people know our stories. Critical race theory, trying to erase. This is what we do. This is our responsibility, publisher. We've got to make sure that I can't do it by myself. You can't do it but together we
Together
can make
we
sure
can make
these
it happen.
stories
Do it.
are
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hashtag don't let them bury my story, because if this black book is successful, all the other black books that might come down the pike can be successful. We have some unique stories. This story is about her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Entire life. She was a welder. All the men were gone to World War II. They were gone. So they had women building ships. She was a welder,
Wow.
building the very
Yes.
ships that they traveled on to go to war. So her life is hella interesting. You can learn a lot. Please hashtag this movement we started in New York. Hashtag support Mother Fletcher.
You think they would feel incomplete if they transitioned without seeing that happen?
Absolutely, it would be an injustice. We think about it. I'm glad you said that. We all got to answer to one person. Whoever
That's
your
right.
higher power is, we all got to answer to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can sleep at night without making this right, go ahead. But when you get to wherever you're going, stand by.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it again. And if you're listening and
Thank
watching,
you,
pick
Uncle
up the
Red.
book. And thank you, Mother
Thank you, Mother
Viola
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Thank you, Uncle Red. Appreciate you guys.
Don't let them bury my story. It's available on Amazon right now, and the forward is by you.
The four is by Uncle Red.
Uncle Red. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.